I've come to the realization that I'm just not trying hard enough. I just don't think I'm putting in the effort that I really should. It's like when you start self improvement, you're like down here, right? And you're doing all the bad habits. You ain't working out, you're eating like shit. You're doing you know what I'm talking about, right? Your life isn't in check. And then you start to do the basic stuff. You start to eat better. You start to go to the gym. You start to, you know, take better care of your mental health. And that becomes where you are now. And that becomes just the normal you. Like for me, going to the gym isn't hard. That's not a challenge. Okay, there's no resistance. Getting up at like 8 a.m., doing a routine and then working, that isn't difficult. That's just how I am. But the problem with that, I feel, is that you're not pushing yourself then. And to everyone else, from the outside view, it looks like you're trying really hard and he's going to the gym, he's working, he's getting up early. Yeah, you are. That's good. And that's already a lot more than most people. But eventually that becomes your norm. That just becomes normal life. And you can't stop there. That's what I've realized, that I kind of stopped there. But I can go again. I can go even harder. And that becomes me pushing myself again, as opposed to just stopping where I am. And I think you can very much easily just stop where you are and kind of cap how hard you can push yourself without really trying to push yourself as hard as you could. Like, am I really... It's called living outside your edge. It was in The Way of the Superior Man, that book. And it made me think that I could try way harder. I could go harder. I could look at my phone less. I could just turn it off. I don't need to go on social media. I don't need to watch that video. I could be reading. Or just simple as I'm eating my food, I can literally just choose to eat smaller amounts, swallow properly, because that's better just for your face, right? Little things like that. Or just standing up straight, shoulders back, with a more conscious effort. Oh bro, is the audio filming? Okay, sometimes the audio doesn't work, so I'll just double checking. What was I saying? Like just little things like that, you know what I'm saying? I think you have to constantly be pushing, otherwise you don't feel good about yourself. And I kind of figured this out early on, that if I'm not constantly pushing myself, I just don't feel that great about myself. I just don't feel good. And I think it's balancing that with enjoying your life. Because I think I've gone through like a phase for the last like 2 years, 3 years, where I just really stop enjoying my life, and I just put work, I put everything else first. Now, that actually turned into me enjoying that, but still it's like you don't want to just enjoy the instant gratification. Like there's other stuff you can enjoy. Like for example, not going out with friends to, work on this, which it's applicable sometimes, but it's quite hard to find a balance. And even that of itself, when it comes back to like constantly pushing yourself, it's like even that, working in that regard, right? Let's say you have the situation of not seeing your friends and working instead, and you choose to work. That could become the norm for you. That may not be that may be the easy decision. So maybe you have to actually switch it and go out with your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's constantly changing, and my mindset is always every like 2 months I have like a new realization of how I'm like spending my time, and I think that I'm not trying hard enough. Are you trying hard enough? You're in your routine maybe. Maybe you're going to the gym, you're taking better care of yourself, but are you really trying? Because that becomes the norm for a lot of people. That becomes just how you are. That's just how I am. Like, me working on a video, me recording this isn't like me pushing myself out my comfort zone. This is just me doing what I normally do. So I need to go above and beyond more and more. Because when you do, what I've noticed is that the times in my life where I've really pushed myself, that's when I feel the best. Especially immediately after, like the first time I cold approached a girl, that was like well outside my comfort zone. I felt like a winner that day. So I think that's the only way you can truly feel satisfied all the time. You need to constantly, for me, right? Personally, I do know that I use my phone too much. I do realize that I do use it a bit too much, and I'm trying to cut it down. So what I started doing is literally I just turn my phone off unless I have a reason to go on it. Like I need to have the intention in my head before I go on it. I'm going on my phone to do this or to look at that or to check this. If that isn't there, I shouldn't really go on it. And well, immediately that's actually made quite a big difference by just actively turning the whole thing off. And for me, that's getting outside of my comfort zone because I still mindlessly check it without even thinking about it. Not too much, but I still do. You know what I'm saying? Something like that is just, for me, that's pushing out my comfort zone. And I think if you can get to the end of the day and say to yourself and believe that you made good decisions today, you resisted and you grew, you pushed yourself a bit harder, you can go sleep pretty soundly. You feel pretty good about yourself. You don't have that much regret about the day. You're like, yeah, you know what, I did try. Obviously, like, things come up. You may have not got 100%, but if you did pretty good, then I think that's okay. I think that's good. And there's the argument of, like, you should give yourself some rest, take it easy. And I'm like, it's hard to do it in a way where it doesn't feel like I'm being lazy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I find it hard to rest because I feel like I'm just wasting my time. But then I know that if I rest in the right kind of way, when it comes back to working, I'm working better, I'm more productive, I get more done with less time. So I think it is really hard to balance this shite, bro. I'm still trying to figure it out. Because I don't know. I don't know. If you're wondering why this whole posture, I'm like, my legs are like wide because the camera doesn't go any higher, so this is what we got. But I think I'm gonna leave it there. I wonder what you guys think about this. Are you pushing yourself really? Like, are you? Because to everyone else, they can look like you. Like, for example, right, I'll tell you something. I'm turning 19 next Thursday. Okay, the date is, what's the date? The date is it's the 29th of June. It's the 29th of June 2022. I turn 19 next week on Thursday. Now, I tell this to people not to brag, not to say anything. It is just how I think. It's just my mind. I'm just being honest, alright? I am kind of scared about turning 19, and it stems from the thought of feeling that I haven't achieved enough yet. I feel like I've underachieved. I don't feel like I've done enough. And that's not me trying to like boost. That's not me trying to get you to say in the comments that, oh, you've done so much, look at you. I'm just honestly just telling you my mind because that is honestly what I think. And I genuinely am like, I haven't done enough. I should have done more by now. And I think it's realizing that these goals I have, they're optimistic, but they are possible. So obviously, I'm not trying hard enough. I must not be trying hard enough. I must be just like, I'm not being lazy, but I'm not going 100% either. I don't know, bro. It's a mind f. I'm trying to figure it out, but that's just my thoughts. If you guys got any advice, bro, tell me. But that's pretty much it, bro. I think I'm gonna end it there, boys and girls. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.